The city lights of Neo-Paris flickered through the rain-soaked windows of Leo Hastings' cramped apartment. The neon glow from the streets below cast long shadows across the walls, creating a kaleidoscope of colors that mirrored the chaos and despair engulfing his life. He sat at the tiny kitchen table, an unfinished meal pushed aside, staring blankly at the holographic job board hovering in front of him. The harsh blue light illuminated his weary face, highlighting the deep creases on his forehead and the dark circles beneath his eyes. The job listings were all too familiar, low-paying, menial positions that were as unappealing as the stench wafting up from the overcrowded streets below. Data entry clerk for a mining company on Mars, security guard at an orbital storage facility in the asteroid belt, pilot for a transport ship carrying waste across Saturn's rings. Each one barely enough to make ends meet, let alone rebuild the life he had lost. Leo sighed, rubbing his temples. His fingers lingered on a small scar just above his right eyebrow, a painful reminder of the accident that had derailed his promising career as a commercial space pilot 2 years ago. Once, he had been on a rapid ascent, commanding ships that soared between worlds, transporting precious cargo and passengers across the vastness of space. Then came the disaster, a miscalculation during a hyperjump, a glitch in the navigation system, and the ship had emerged too close to an asteroid field. The collision left him stranded, barely clinging to life in the cold vacuum of space until a rescue crew arrived days later. The ship was destroyed, the cargo lost, and his reputation was in ruins. No one wanted to hire a pilot marked by such a failure. Insurance claims, lawsuits, and the relentless spiral of unemployment followed. Now, he was just another forgotten name on Earth, living in the shadows of his former glory. Exhaling slowly, Leo closed his eyes, trying to block out the dull ache in his chest. This was not the life he had envisioned for himself. Earth felt suffocating, its overcrowded cities and corporate-controlled governments strangling any hope for a fresh start. His gaze returned to the holographic display, which revealed nothing new. Just as he was about to give up for the night, a new notification blinked at the bottom of the screen. It was subtle, almost easy to miss, like a whisper amidst the noise. He tapped it, expecting yet another unremarkable job offer. Instead, the words "seeking companion for unique position," Celestia system appeared. Intrigued, he clicked on the listing for more details. The information was vague, deliberately so. A wealthy figure from the distant Celestia Kingdom, located in the far reaches of the galaxy, was searching for an individual with unique qualities to fill a position of great importance. The job promised a life of luxury, wealth, and unparalleled adventure. Unique qualities, Leo muttered to himself. What does that even mean? He scrolled further, noting that the applicant needed to be intelligent, adaptable, and willing to relocate immediately. No prior experience was necessary, but discretion and loyalty were paramount. The employer's identity was hidden behind layers of encryption, but the salary listed in credits could support Leo for a lifetime, making him sit up straight. What the hell, he whispered. A companion? A kingdom at the edge of known space? This wasn't a typical job offer. It was a gamble that smelled too good to be true. Yet, the promise of wealth, and more importantly, a life far removed from the decaying remnants of his current existence, was too tempting to ignore. He clicked on the application link, his heart racing as curiosity washed over him. The application process was surprisingly brief, requesting basic details like age, physical health, skills, and a few psychological questions about adaptability, conflict resolution, and how he handled pressure. Nothing invasive, just enough to gauge whether he would fit into whatever strange world awaited him in the Celestia system. As he finished filling out the form, his finger hovered over the submit button, 1,000 doubts screaming in his mind. This could be a scam, a trap, or worse, an offer laden with strings he couldn't comprehend. But what did he have to lose? His life on Earth felt like a dead end, no prospects, no future, only memories of a past that no longer existed. With a sharp breath, Leo pressed the button. The screen blinked once, then twice, and suddenly a message flashed across his display. Your application has been accepted. Prepare for departure. His heart skipped a beat. Departure? A low rumble vibrated through the floor of his apartment, followed by a sharp, high-pitched whine. He rushed to the window, and his breath caught in his throat. Hovering just above the city skyline was a sleek black shuttle, its underside glowing with the soft blue light of anti-gravity thrusters. A chill ran down his spine. This was too fast. A voice crackled through the apartment's speaker system, smooth and commanding. "Leo Hastings, please proceed to the shuttle for immediate transport to the Celestia system." He froze, his hands clenching into fists at his sides. How did they already know? He had just submitted the application minutes ago. "Mr. Hastings," the voice repeated, calm but firm. "We are waiting. Time is of the essence." Leo swallowed hard, his pulse racing in his ears. This was it, the moment of decision. The job he had applied for, the life he had wished for, was literally at his doorstep. But there was no turning back, no time to rethink it. It was now or never. Grabbing his worn duffel bag, Leo shoved a few essentials inside: his old flight jacket, a data pad, and the few personal items he still valued. As he slung the bag over his shoulder, he hesitated, staring at the mess of his apartment. The broken dreams, the missed opportunities, the failures. It was all there in that dingy room. A part of him wanted to stay, to cling to the familiar, even if it was a life of disappointment. But no, he was done with this. It was time to leap. Without a second glance, Leo stepped out of the apartment and into the night. The rain soaked his face as he crossed the rooftop landing pad, the shuttle hovering silently, its sleek black surface glistening under the city lights. As he approached, the hatch opened with a hiss, revealing a plush, dimly lit interior. He climbed inside, his heart pounding. The door sealed behind him, and without a word, the shuttle lifted off, rising smoothly into the dark sky. Leo sank into one of the seats, staring out the window as the lights of Neo-Paris faded into the distance. His mind raced with questions, but there was no one to ask, no explanations, no reassurances, only the unknown. As the shuttle broke through Earth's atmosphere and the stars spread out before him, he felt a strange mix of fear and exhilaration. The vastness of space opened up like an endless canvas, each star a promise of something new, something different. He was leaving behind the weight of his failures, but he didn't know what he was stepping into. His thoughts drifted back to the job listing, the mysterious figure from Celestia. A companion? Who was this person, and why had they chosen him? What had they seen in his brief application that convinced them he was the right choice? And why had they come for him so quickly? The shuttle's sleek form glided through the darkness, picking up speed as it prepared to jump to hyperspace. Leo's fingers drummed nervously on the armrest. He had always loved space travel, the thrill of breaking free from gravity's hold, the rush of stars as they blurred past the viewport. But this was different. This wasn't a mission or a routine cargo run. This was his life now, hurtling toward the unknown with no idea of what awaited him. As the stars stretched into thin lines and the ship entered hyperspace, he closed his eyes. He had made his choice, and there was no turning back. The journey had begun. The journey to Celestia took several days, and while Leo was no stranger to space travel, the silence weighed heavily on him. The shuttle was automated, its sleek interior devoid of crew or fellow passengers. He had nothing but time to think, and with each passing hour, his mind raced with questions and doubts. Who was the employer? What exactly would be expected of him? The vagueness of the job listing gnawed at him, but it was too late for second thoughts. He was committed. Eventually, the shuttle dropped out of hyperspace, and the first sight of the Celestia system filled the viewport. Leo leaned forward, breath catching in his throat as he took in the breathtaking vista. The system's central star, a brilliant blue giant, cast a radiant glow over the surrounding planets, each more alien and beautiful than the last. But it was the sight of Celestia itself that truly stole his breath. A massive sphere of shimmering silver and gold, its atmosphere glowing faintly, creating a soft halo around its surface. Massive cities dotted the landscape, their spires reaching high into the sky, connected by elegant bridges that seemed to defy gravity. It was unlike anything Leo had ever seen, an architectural marvel that made even the most advanced human cities seem primitive by comparison. The shuttle began its descent. As the shuttle descended toward Celestia, Leo's heart raced with a mix of anticipation and trepidation. The landscape below was nothing short of spectacular. Sprawling cities shimmered under the light of the planet's sun, their structures resembling intricate sculptures more than mere buildings. He could see floating gardens and massive parks interspersed among the towering skyscrapers, each one a vibrant splash of color against the gleaming metallic surfaces. The shuttle glided smoothly toward a designated landing pad, the soft hum of its engines a comforting reminder of the journey that had brought him here. As the craft touched down with barely a sound, a wave of nervous energy coursed through Leo. He took a deep breath, trying to steady his racing thoughts. The hatch opened with a hiss, revealing a grand entrance adorned with elaborate carvings that depicted celestial scenes. A rush of warm air filled the cabin, fragrant with the scent of blooming flowers and something sweet, intoxicating. Leo stepped out, squinting against the brightness of the sun as he took his first steps on Celestian soil. A tall figure awaited him at the edge of the landing pad, their silhouette striking against the backdrop of the city. Dressed in a flowing robe that shimmered like liquid silver, the individual seemed to radiate an aura of authority and grace. Leo's heart thudded as he approached, the echo of his footsteps swallowed by the lush, carpet-like grass beneath him. "Welcome, Leo Hastings," the figure said, their voice smooth and melodic. "I am Seraphis, the liaison for the Celestia Kingdom. We have been eagerly anticipating your arrival." "Ah, thank you," Leo stammered, momentarily taken aback by the intensity of Seraphis' gaze. "I'm glad to be here." Seraphis gestured for him to follow, leading him through a wide archway that opened into a bustling courtyard filled with people of all shapes and colors, each one absorbed in their activities. Laughter and conversation mingled with the sounds of music, creating a lively atmosphere that felt both foreign and exhilarating. "Celestia thrives on diversity," Seraphis explained as they walked, gliding effortlessly through the crowd. "People from all corners of the galaxy come here to seek their fortunes, find purpose, or simply enjoy the beauty of our world. You will find your place among us." Leo nodded, feeling a flicker of hope ignite within him. This was a far cry from the bleakness of his previous life. As they walked, Seraphis continued to share the wonders of Celestia, describing the unique cultures and opportunities that awaited him. They reached a grand building adorned with cascading gardens that appeared to be suspended in midair. The architecture was breathtaking, blending nature and technology in a seamless harmony. "This is the Hall of Aspirants," Seraphis said, stopping at the entrance. "Here, you will begin your orientation and meet those who will guide you in your new role." Leo swallowed hard, a mixture of excitement and anxiety swirling in his chest. What exactly would he be doing? Would he fit in? "Do not worry," Seraphis said, sensing his unease. "You were chosen for your unique qualities. Trust in yourself, and you will thrive." Inside, the hall was just as impressive. Large windows allowed natural light to pour in, illuminating the intricate mosaics that adorned the walls. Leo could see other newcomers mingling with Celestian residents, each conversation charged with a palpable energy. "Please take a seat," Seraphis gestured toward a circular table at the center of the room. Leo complied, watching as a small group gathered around him, each person radiating a mix of excitement and uncertainty, just like him. "We will begin shortly," Seraphis announced, their voice calm and reassuring. "You will be introduced to your mentors, who will guide you through your training and acclimate you to life here in Celestia." As the gathering continued, Leo caught snippets of conversations around him. Stories of adventure, of journeys across the stars, of opportunities that had led them here. He listened intently, feeling a growing sense of belonging amidst the chatter. Minutes later, the doors opened, and a woman entered the hall. She was striking, with piercing green eyes and dark hair that flowed like liquid night. "Welcome, aspirants," she began, her voice strong and clear. "I am Loa, the head of our department, and I will be your guide during your time here. Your unique qualities will be assessed, and you will be matched with a role that suits your skills," she continued. "The position you've applied for as a companion in the Celestia Kingdom is highly regarded, requiring adaptability, intelligence, and, above all, trust. We seek individuals who can form deep connections with those they serve." Leo's stomach tightened. He had anticipated a more defined role, but the notion of being a companion sounded vague and daunting. Would he be merely a servant? Loa must have sensed his hesitation. "Let me assure you, this is not a position of subservience. Companions are valued members of our society. You will engage with influential figures, help them navigate challenges, and even participate in decision-making processes." As she spoke, Leo's apprehension began to wane. The thought of having a say in important matters sparked a thrill within him. "And what about the pay?" he asked, cautious but hopeful. "Rest assured, you will be compensated generously, more than enough to secure your future here in Celestia," Loa replied, a knowing smile gracing her lips. The room buzzed with murmurs of approval. Leo felt a surge of determination. This could be his chance to build something new, to leave the shadows of his past behind. After the orientation, Leo was paired with another newcomer named Jackson, a friendly young man with a shock of bright blue hair and an infectious grin. "You'll love it here," Jackson exclaimed, enthusiasm radiating from him. "I've heard the training is intense, but rewarding." Leo couldn't help but feel buoyed by Jackson's positivity. "What's your story?" he asked, curious. "Got tired of living a mundane life back on Taros," Jackson replied. "I wanted adventure, and Celestia seemed like the perfect place for it. Plus, I'm pretty sure they've got some of the best food in the galaxy." As they chatted, Leo began to feel a sense of camaraderie growing between them. He was no longer alone in his uncertainty. They were all navigating this new world together. Over the following weeks, Leo immersed himself in training, learning the ins and outs of his new position. Under Loa's guidance, he honed his skills in communication, problem-solving, and emotional intelligence. He discovered that being a companion required empathy and insight, traits he hadn't fully appreciated until now. Each day, Leo felt more at home, the vibrant energy of Celestia filling him with hope and purpose. As he stood on a balcony overlooking the majestic skyline one evening, he felt a sense of belonging wash over him. He had left behind the weight of his failures, stepping into a future brimming with possibilities. The stars twinkled above, and for the first time in years, Leo could see the outline of a new path, a life filled with adventure, connection, and the chance to redefine his destiny. As the days turned into weeks, Leo found himself increasingly captivated by life in Celestia. The planet's breathtaking landscapes and vibrant culture enveloped him, offering an intoxicating mix of excitement and purpose. Training sessions with Loa and his fellow aspirants became the highlight of his days, each one pushing him closer to unlocking the unique potential he felt buried deep within. One afternoon, during a particularly engaging session on emotional intelligence, Loa announced, "Today, we will be simulating real-life scenarios you may encounter as companions. This is an opportunity to practice your skills in empathy and adaptability." The room buzzed with energy as pairs of aspirants formed groups to tackle various challenges. Leo teamed up with Jackson, and together they faced a series of role-playing exercises. In one scenario, they had to navigate a conflict between two clients, each with opposing desires and temperaments. Leo found himself naturally taking the lead, drawing on the insights he had gained during training. "Let's focus on finding common ground," he suggested, his voice steady and reassuring. "What do you both value the most about this situation?" As the exercise unfolded, Leo felt the rhythm of the dialogue flow smoothly between them. By the end, both clients left satisfied, shaking hands and smiling. When the simulation concluded, Jackson clapped Leo on the back, grinning. "You crushed that. I didn't think we'd be able to resolve it so easily." "I couldn't have done it without your support," Leo replied, feeling a rush of pride. Their friendship had blossomed in the midst of their training, and moments like this only strengthened their bond. As the weeks passed, Leo began to notice a shift in his thoughts. The memories of his past life on Earth still lingered, but they no longer held the power to define him. Here in Celestia, he was not just a forgotten name. He was Leo Hastings, a person with purpose and promise. One evening, after an intensive training session, Leo and Jackson headed to the bustling market square, a vibrant hub of culture, food, and creativity. The square was alive with people from all walks of life, each stall offering tantalizing treats and mesmerizing crafts. The air was rich with the scent of spices and sweets, mingling with laughter and music. "Let's try some Celestian street food," Jackson exclaimed, practically bouncing on his feet. "I've heard the starfruit skewers are out of this world." As they wandered through the stalls, Leo marveled at the colorful displays. Jackson's enthusiasm was infectious, and soon they were sampling everything from spice pastries to exotic fruit drinks. They laughed and shared stories, creating new memories to cherish. "Can you believe we're actually here?" Leo said, his eyes sparkling as he took in the surroundings. "Just a few months ago, I was stuck in that rundown apartment on Earth." Jackson nodded, his face thoughtful. "It's wild. I mean, who would have thought we'd be training to be companions in a kingdom? Sometimes it feels like a dream." Their laughter mingled with the sounds of the market, creating a symphony of joy and camaraderie. As they settled on a bench, enjoying their food, Leo felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He was no longer just surviving. He was living. Later that night, as Leo prepared to sleep, his mind drifted to the role he was being groomed for. The idea of being a companion still felt daunting, but with each passing day, he grew more excited about the possibilities. He envisioned the connections he would make, the lives he would touch, and the adventures that awaited him. However, the mystery of his employer lingered in the back of his mind. He hadn't learned much about the individual who sought a companion, aside from vague mentions of their importance in the Celestia Kingdom. Leo's curiosity piqued. Who were they, and what would his role entail? As if answering his unspoken question, the following morning, Leo received an unexpected message on his datapad. Subject: urgent meeting request from Scifi. "Leo," he murmured, excitement and apprehension colliding in his chest. He quickly read the details of the message. "You are requested to meet with your employer today. Please arrive at the Hall of Royal Affairs at noon." His heart raced. Today? The prospect filled him with a mix of thrill and anxiety. Would he be ready for this meeting? After a hurried breakfast, Leo dressed in his best attire, a sleek outfit that combined practicality with a touch of elegance, carefully chosen for such an important occasion. He felt a surge of determination as he left his apartment, the bright Celestian sun warming his skin. As he made his way through the vibrant streets, the city pulsed with life around him. People greeted him with smiles, their joy infectious. Leo took a moment to soak it all in, marveling at how far he had come. Arriving at the Hall of Royal Affairs, he paused at the entrance, the towering doors intricately carved with celestial motifs. He took a deep breath, steadying himself before stepping inside. The hall was vast and awe-inspiring, adorned with elegant furnishings and shimmering chandeliers that cast a warm glow throughout the space. Leo was guided through a series of opulent corridors until he reached a large chamber, its walls lined with vibrant murals depicting the history of Celestia. Seraphis awaited him, their expressions serious yet welcoming. "You are here to meet your employer, Leo. Remember, this is a significant opportunity, not just for you but for the kingdom as well." Leo nodded, swallowing hard. "Thank you for the reminder. I'll do my best." As the large doors swung open, a wave of anticipation washed over him. He stepped inside the chamber, and his breath caught in his throat. At the center stood a figure cloaked in layers of deep blue fabric, their face partially hidden by an ornate mask that shimmered like stars in the night sky. Leo felt an undeniable energy emanating from them, a presence that commanded respect and curiosity. "Welcome, Leo Hastings," the figure said, their voice smooth and melodic, echoing in the grand space. "I am Eldrin, ruler of the Celestia Kingdom. It is a pleasure to finally meet you." "Your Majesty," Leo stammered, taken aback by the grandeur of the moment. He quickly bowed his head in respect, trying to steady his racing heart. Eldrin gestured for him to rise. "You have been chosen for a role of great significance. As my companion, you will serve not only as an aide, but also as a confidant. Your skills and adaptability will be crucial in navigating the challenges that come with my position." Leo's mind raced with the weight of the responsibility. "What kind of challenges, Your Majesty?" "The kingdom is undergoing a period of transition," Eldrin explained, their tone serious. "Political alliances are shifting, and there are those who seek to disrupt the peace we have fought so hard to maintain. Your role will involve both public engagements and private negotiations, requiring trust and discretion." Leo absorbed the gravity of the situation. He had left behind a life of disappointment, only to step into a world filled with intrigue and uncertainty. "I understand, Your Majesty. I'll do my utmost to fulfill my duties." Eldrin nodded, their expression inscrutable. "I believe you have the potential to make a significant impact. But remember, this will not be easy. Your past experiences may challenge your instincts, and there will be moments of doubt. Trust in your training and the relationships you build here." As the meeting concluded, Leo felt a mix of exhilaration and trepidation. He was not just an ordinary companion. He was stepping into a role that could alter the course of his life, and potentially the kingdom itself. As he left the Hall of Royal Affairs, his mind swirled with questions. What lay ahead? Would he rise to the occasion or falter under the weight of expectations? One thing was clear. His life in Celestia was just beginning, and the path before him was fraught with possibilities. With each step he took, Leo felt the thrill of the unknown beckoning him forward. He was ready to embrace whatever challenges awaited him in this new world. As Leo adjusted to his new role within the Celestia Kingdom, his training sessions became more intense and focused. Each day brought fresh challenges and opportunities to learn, but he often found his thoughts drifting back to the mysterious figure who had selected him for this unique position. One crisp morning, as Leo and Jackson arrived at the training facility, they noticed a buzz of excitement in the air. Whispers floated among the other aspirants about a special announcement. Loa, their mentor, entered the room, her expression a mixture of urgency and anticipation. "Everyone, please take your seats," she said, her voice commanding attention. "We have an important visitor today, a member of the Celestian royal family. Queen Neres will be arriving shortly." The room erupted into murmurs of curiosity and awe. Leo exchanged a glance with Jackson, who looked equally intrigued. "A queen? I didn't realize there were multiple royals in the kingdom," he mused. "Celestia is rich with history and diverse cultures," Loa continued. "Queen Neres hails from the Ashera clan, known for their striking appearance and strong connection to the planet's energies. Her presence signifies an important alliance." Just then, the grand doors of the training facility swung open, and a wave of energy filled the room. Leo felt a shiver run down his spine as Queen Neres stepped inside. She was a striking figure, her red skin shimmering like polished rubies under the soft light. Her eyes glowed with a radiant golden hue, and her long, flowing hair cascaded around her shoulders, adorned with intricate braids that intertwined with strands of silver. Draped in an elegant gown that seemed to ripple with light, Queen Neres exuded a presence that was both regal and commanding. The aspirants fell silent, captivated by her beauty and grace as she approached the front of the room. "Greetings, my friends," she said, her voice melodic yet firm. "I am honored to be here today, and I bring with me an important message for all of you." Leo felt his heart race as she locked her gaze onto him for a brief moment, her piercing eyes seeming to look right through him. There was an undeniable connection, a spark that sent a thrill coursing through him. "Your training is not just a preparation for service. It is a calling," Queen Neres continued, her voice resonating with authority. "The kingdom faces challenges that require both strength and compassion. As companions, you will stand alongside your leaders, guiding them through the storm that lies ahead." A hush fell over the room as she spoke, her words hanging in the air like a promise. Leo's mind raced with possibilities. What challenges could be looming on the horizon, and how could he contribute to the kingdom's future? "Today," she announced, I will select several of you to assist in an upcoming diplomatic mission. This is an opportunity to prove your skills and demonstrate your loyalty to Celestia." Excitement rippled through the room, and Leo felt a surge of determination. He wanted to be chosen, to be part of something greater than himself. As the queen continued to speak, he listened intently, absorbing every detail of her vision for the kingdom. After her address, she began to meet with the aspirants individually, assessing their potential and gathering insights on their training experiences. When it was Leo's turn, he approached her with a mixture of nervousness and anticipation. "Your Majesty," he said, bowing his head in respect, "I am honored to meet you." "Leo Hastings," she replied, her voice smooth and inviting. "I have heard much about your progress. Your adaptability and compassion are qualities that will serve you well." "Thank you, Your Majesty," Leo replied, his heart racing. "I want to help in any way I can. I believe in the vision for Celestia and would be proud to contribute." Queen Neri studied him for a moment, her golden eyes searching his. "Your enthusiasm is commendable. The path ahead may be perilous, but I sense a strength within you that will guide you through." Feeling a connection grow between them, Leo asked, "What challenges does the kingdom face?" The queen's expression grew serious. "There are factions within Celestia who seek to disrupt our peace and exploit the vulnerabilities of our alliances. We must remain united, and you may play a crucial role in maintaining that unity." As their conversation concluded, Leo felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was no longer just an aspirant. He was part of something larger than himself, something that could shape the future of Celestia. As he walked back to Jackson, the weight of the queen's words resonated within him. He knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, he was ready to embrace them head-on. "Did you see how she looked at you?" Jackson exclaimed, his eyes wide with excitement. "I think you made quite an impression." Leo chuckled, shaking his head. "It felt surreal, like I was stepping into a story I never expected to be part of." As they left the training facility, Leo looked up at the vibrant sky of Celestia, filled with swirling colors and possibilities. With Queen Neri's presence, everything felt different. He was on the brink of an adventure that could change not just his life, but the fate of the kingdom itself.